Why did the Ukraine FBI informant file refer you as the big guy? Why is that term continuously applied? Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Why did you ask such a dumb question?
Why did you ask such a dumb question? It was a great question. And finally, Joe Biden asked to his face, hey, why is everybody calling you the big guy and all this stuff and the FBI and the emails? The big guy. Did you catch it? One more time. I love it. It's finally happening.
Why did the Ukraine FBI informant file refer you as the big guy? Why is that term continuously applied? Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Why did you ask such a dumb question?
Seriously, 3 years after we first heard about the big guy, somebody's finally asking him about being the big guy, and these questions are starting to come up, and it's a beautiful thing. Look, these questions must be answered, so they must be asked. And Joe's reaction, it's priceless. All right, I've seen a couple of versions. Number one, the first time, there was denial, not true, and a retreat. And then the bargaining, come on, man, what are you doing that for? And then today, anger. And this case seems to be gathering momentum. Who's heard of this guy? Zlochevsky. Apparently, he is the founder of Burisma, and he may have had a role in hiring Hunter Biden. Hunter, I hope he's clean. I hope he's sober. But he was in no condition to be an employee of Burisma at $83,000 a month with a $3 million signing bonus. Forget about the substance abuse problems and the hookers and the drugs and all this stuff. He had no qualifications to be on a foreign energy company. It was ludicrous. Everybody seems to understand it. And now we're hearing this. $10 million paid to each of them, allegedly, and coercion may have been involved. The Federalists, great people there, Margot Cleveland, has lit the world on fire with her story tonight. Let's go through it. The Bidens coerced Burisma to pay $10 million in bribes, says credible FBI source. Margot Cleveland from the Federalist. Let's take a look inside. Zlochevsky allegedly was dismayed by Trump's victory, fearing an investigation would reveal his payments to the Biden family. Wow. Included a $5 million payment to Hunter Biden and a $5 million payment to Joe Biden, allegedly. Next, Zlochevsky then allegedly detailed the steps he had taken to avoid detection. Yes, this rings very familiar. Catching these guys, they knew sooner or later they'd be looked into. Take a look at what the House Oversight Committee said.
It looks complicated and sounds complicated. It was intentionally made to be complicated so you could not follow the money.
So you could not follow the money. And it sounds like this Zlochevsky guy was on the same page. What next from the Federalist, please? Never paid the big guy directly. That was a safety measure. Okay, what else? Would take some 10 years to unravel the various money trails. Yep, just like Nancy Mace was saying. Finally, Zlochevsky mentioned the audio recordings he had made of the conversations he had with Hunter and Joe Biden. Wow, could they exist? Next, please. CHS, by the way, is a confidential human source. This is according to the confidential human source as seen, we believe, in the FBI's 1023 form. All right, 1023 form. It's getting a little arcane, and they want it that way, and it seems like the FBI, they don't want us to know about this stuff. More on that in a moment. $10 million. Some folks have noticed that in 2017, Joe Biden's first year post-vice presidency, how much money did he make? More than $11 million. Now, I know vice presidents can sit on corporate boards and get a lot of arrangements and have the money come in, but that's a very big figure. It's been mentioned that Joe Biden made all that off of his book, Promise Me, Dad. No, there's no way. There's no way. And it's very unclear, according to his taxes, how he got all that money. Maybe this is a big clue. Look, is the House Oversight Committee wrong about everything? I don't think so. They've looked at the SARS, the suspicious activity reports. What do we have so far? $1 million coming to the Bidens, it looks like, from Romania. Don't forget the $3 million going to the Bidens, through this person, this shell company, and that from China. $3 million distributed to cousins, grandchildren, you name it. They had this disguised very well, it would appear. And we do know this. Joe Biden has lied about this matter. Absolutely. And even the Joe Biden supporters would have to say, Yeah, you got us. First, who remembers this denial from 2017? Joe Biden getting the talking to of a lifetime from Donald Trump.
I don't make money from China. You do. I don't make money from Ukraine. You do. I don't make money from Russia. You made $3.5 million, Joe, and your son gave you. They even have a statement that we have to give 10% to the big man. You're the big man, I think. I don't know. Maybe you're not, but you're the big man, I think. Your son said we have to give 10% to the big man. Joe, what's that all about? It's terrible.
It is terrible. Listen to Joe's denial.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China. I have not had, the only guy made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Nobody else has made money from China.
No, we know for sure that his son made money in China, and we know that because Hunter Biden's lawyers admitted as much. They told the world Hunter Biden made money in China. As part of that joint venture, Hunter received his portion of good faith seed funds, which he shared with his uncle James Biden and Haley Biden, as one does, with whom he was involved at the time, sharing expenses. Next, please. Hunter Biden, a private citizen with every right to pursue his own business endeavors, joined several business partners in seeking a joint venture with a privately owned, legitimate energy company in China. That I'm sure has nothing to do with the Chinese Communist Party. Joe Biden was lying about Hunter. Absolutely. And I think it's a giveaway in the body language. Did you see the thing he did with his head right when he says Hunter made money? You see that? Who, me? He's like, Donald Trump actually figured that one out? Yes, he did. And a lot of us have. Tony Bobolinsky was one of the first to come forward, right? That was a game changer. Of course, there is the laptop that, well, you lied about that one too, right, Joe? That it was Russia disinformation and the intelligence community actually helped you. And now the House Oversight Committee, well, it looks like they've got the goods. The investigation continues, and we need to see some of this evidence. But look, the FBI, they were leaking stuff about Donald Trump for 3 years. Was that stuff true? No. I really think we have to make this something, right? FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation? No. Friends of Biden Incorporated. Don't forget it. Friends of Biden Incorporated. Because they did everything they could to trip up Trump and protect Joe and other Democrats. Remember this?
Now on MSNBC, several new allegations this morning about an investigation into Donald Trump's campaign and ties to Russia.
His very explosive charge that there was coordination between Donald Trump and the Russian government.
This remarkable detail about Donald Trump and the Russian government.
Whether Donald Trump himself is just a puppet for the Kremlin.
These were lies, and a lot of them came from the FBI. How about that? So over the top. And the questions about Joe Biden are kind of out there. I'm talking about him. That guy's talking about him. Maybe Breitbart, maybe Newsmax, but, you know, not that much momentum because they own the culture. They do. Bob Mueller. Remember that, huh? Remember what he found, oh, by the way. He found that there was no conspiracy, but even he could not help himself. He said Donald Trump is not guilty, but he is also not innocent. Even when he's innocent, they try to, it's crazy. Vindman, that cubicle dweller, how the whole country had to listen to that nonsense. Pretty amazing, huh? And why, this does kind of explain why Joe is so tight with Ukraine. It could, when you think about it, right? I mean, if they have audio tapes of Joe accepting bribes, I mean, they could blow up his life. They could blow up the presidency. He's got to do whatever it takes, right? It would explain why there's basically no concern about the border. I mean, our enemies don't want us to have a country, and this is, well, destabilizing our country, possibly even destroying our country. It would explain also the balloon, all that money from China, and the balloon flies over America, and we don't do a damn thing about it. All right. And also this, you know, a president of the United States is supposed to stick up for America, right? Every country has their problems, but you're not supposed to talk about it all the time. Here he is on Martin Luther King Day.
If you live in one of those neighborhoods and you have the same exact car I have in the other neighborhood, you pay more for your insurance than that side. No basis for it, none at all, other than you're black and I'm white.
Yeah, that's America, right? Right there, huh, Joe? That's us in a nutshell. Telling ghost stories about America. Ghost stories about us. You know, I've actually been looking. I don't like President Xi. I don't like President Putin. I don't like anybody. But they don't badmouth their own countries. He just gave a major speech before some conference, and it was all about how China is great and has been great and will continue to be great and get bigger. We never hear that from Joe Biden. And what kind of message would President Xi want Joe Biden to preach? That America is great? I don't think so. I think he'd like to fuel a psychological warfare campaign that seems to be in full swing with Trump's indictment. This is psychological warfare. It is completely unjust, but some beautiful things are happening. People came to support the president. They're doing it across the country. They're doing it in their hearts. But these folks who actually turned out in front of the courthouse, it was a very nice thing. And President Trump noticed and says thank you.
I want to thank all of the thousands of people in Miami, great place, for showing up at the courthouse and doing it in such an elegant manner, but showing respect because you recognize that this was a false and fraudulent indictment of me by corrupt people. To see the love and just the spirit was incredible. It was an incredible thing to witness. And the Hispanic community, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, so much, and so many people. I just want to thank everybody. It was heartwarming to watch it. The love, the total love and the spirit. So again, to Miami and to all of the people in Miami, which we've had tremendous success with, which is very, very special and a very special place. But more importantly, very, very special people. Thank you very much for being there. I appreciate it.
That was really nice, wasn't it? The people get it. They do, always do. We get it.